Hi, V.
Hi, teacher.
How are you today, V?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
I'm good, thank you. Okay, V, let's go and share. Gonna do some speaking parts today, okay? Let's see, she said here 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm gonna go up to Unit 4 and we're gonna start reviewing from Unit 4. Only the speaking parts. Okay. Hometown. V, describe your hometown. Tell me about your hometown.
Dear teacher, I was born in a beautiful and peaceful country in a mountainous area, and my hometown is very peaceful. The pe uh, there are a lot of green mountains and green fields. The farmers um, o- often grow the farmer often grow crops on the farm, and they and there are some sheep or cows on the farm. Mm,
Okay. So
my
when you tell me,
hometown.
sorry, when you tell me about your hometown, it's about like 5 sentences, and you tell me more about where it is located, like on the border of the Vietnam River, or it's the central, or it's the northwest, or it's a small village um off the capital city. It is a financial district, or it's a farming community. So tell me something more about that. It's good what you just said. It's a lot of information, um, but not too much. Okay, so that's what you said was perfect. V, if you're the only one that's learning, I'm going to change to a different question. If they come back, we'll go, if other people come, we'll go back to that book, okay? But now first, I want to see, I want to see if you can see my whiteboard, because there's only, um, you need to follow me. I see know exactly what to do, but I think you can do it too. Let me just see something that I changed here. Oh. Um, okay, let's see if we can see share a whiteboard now. Okay, whiteboard. Okay, here. New. Okay, I'm gonna type the question. Can you see the whiteboard?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna type it now for you. I just want to find it quickly. Um, here. Okay, so part 1.9 we did yesterday. Robots. Okay, let's do 1 point helping others. We're gonna talk about helping others. Here. So it's part 1.11. Helping others. So you can see what I'm typing. Do you usually
Yes,
help
teacher.
people around you? Hang on. No, I don't want to ask this one. Let's ask the next one. How do you help people around you, uh, such as neighbors and friends? Um, and we're going to answer this one. Do your parents teach you how to help others? Okay. Okay, let's answer the first question. Do you help do you help people around you, such as neighbors and friends, and how do you help them?
Actually, I usually have people around me, and since I also like helping other people, I usually have my neighbors or friends, especially my friends who have um, difficult, who are in difficult situation, like they live in a poor, they live in poor families. I usually donate my clothes or buy some books and uh, also the money for my friends and my neighbors who live around me. I usually help them with if they um, a neighbor live around me, which is
Okay, so
a lot.
if your neighbor needs help, how will you help them?
I will have the thing that they need.
Okay, so for example, can you give me an example?
Example, um, in the hot days, uh,
Mhm.
as I live in the countryside, so my neighbor usually grow vegetables in their garden. If I have done with my homework in the afternoon, I often come to their house to play. And if I see they are growing something, I will help them.
Okay, so let's type it for you. Here. Just want to see something quickly. Um, you can say, well, I like to believe that I am an um, empathetic person. Whenever possible, I like uh, giving a helping hand to those in need. I try to help people even if it is in a small way. Um, so you can say, um, you can say, I, um, I usually help my parents with work in the house. And I also help with the cooking whenever I am around at the time the meal is being prepared. One time in particular, now you can say, maybe you helped a stranger. Let's think of an idea. You can maybe help somebody on the street that's hungry. You could maybe help your neighbor with a package. You can say, I passed an older man who was begging. Something caused me to take special note of this man. I started to get some money out of my bag for him. Then I don't know how long you should answer. One time in particular, I passed an older man who was begging. Something caused me to take special note of this man. I started to get money out of my bag for him. But couldn't shake the feeling that I had to buy him food instead. I went to a nearby market and bought him some bread and milk. Then I went back to the man and handed him the food. He said some kind words to thank me. Honestly, I think doing this might have made me happier than it did him. I felt good after helping him. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Not bigger, like that. Okay, see if you can read this, V.
Well, I like to believe that I am empathic person. Whenever possible, I like giving a help to teacher. I can see.
Yes.
I can see the words on the right.
Okay, can you see it now?
No.
Okay. Hang on. What about if I now what am I doing now? Is there something that you can how to say that to you? Let me take this away. And then see if you can see it. Okay. Okay, now can you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I like to believe that I am an empathic person. Whenever possible, I like giving a helping hand to those in need. I try to help people even if it is in a small way. I usually help my parents with work in the house, and I also help with the cooking whenever I am around at the time the meal is being prepared. One time, in particular, I passed an older man who was begging. Something caused me to take special note of this man. I started to get some money out of my bag for him, but couldn't shake the feeling that I had to buy him food instead. I went to a nearby market and bought him some bread and milk. Then I went back to the man and handed him the food. He had good after helping him.
Okay, good. Hi, Van Con.
Hello, teacher.
Okay, let me just see. 16. Okay, Van Con, you can read here. How do you help people around you, such as neighbors and friends? Van Con, you can read it.
Yes. Well, I like to believe that I am an empathetic person. Whenever possible, I like giving a helping hand to those in need. I try to help people, even if it's in a small way. I usually help my parents with work in the house, and I also help with the cooking whenever I'm around at the time the meal is being prepared. One time in particular, I passed an older man who was begging. Something caused me to take special note of this man. I started to get some money out of my bag for him, but couldn't shake the feeling that I had to buy him food instead. I went to a nearby market and bought him some bread and milk. Then I went back to the man and handed him the food. He said some kind words to thank me. Honestly, I think doing this might have made me happier than it did him. I feel good after helping him.
Okay. I just want to see if I can save this because I need to go back to the other book for Khan. Let's see quickly. We can do maybe one more. Um, let's see if I can save this. Okay, I want V to read it one more time. V, how do you help people around you, such as neighbors and friends? V. Okay, there we go. V, can you hear me? V, you need to unmute, sweetie. Let me push it for you so you can see it. There we go. Okay, V, how do you help people around you, such as neighbors and friends?
Well, teacher, can you hear me?
Yes?
Well, I like to believe that I am an empathic person. Whenever possible, I like giving a helping hand to those in need. I try to help people, even if it is in a small way. I usually help my parents with work in the house, And I also help with the cooking whenever I am around the time the meal is being prepared. One time, in particular, I passed an older man who was begging. Something caused me to take special note of this man. I started to get some money out of my bag for him, but couldn't shake the feeling that I had to buy him food instead. I went to a nearby market and bought him some bread and milk. When I went back to the man and handed him the food, he said some kind words to thank me. Honestly, I think doing this might have made me happier than it did him. I felt good after helping him.
Okay, good. Now tell me, which are there any words, V, that you don't understand?
No, teacher.
You understand all the words. What about you, Van Con? Are there any words you don't understand?
I don't understand the word empathetic.
Uh, okay, I'll play it for you now. English to Vietnamese. Empathetic.
Đồng cảm. Đồng cảm.
Any other words, Van Con, that you don't know?
No.
Okay. V, can you make a sentence with empathetic?
She's empathic with me.
Good. Van Con, can you make a sentence with empathetic?
Yes. I think he is an empathetic person.
What does empathetic mean, Van Con?
I think he has a point of view with me.
When you are empathetic, you care about other people. You've got a good heart. So empathetic means you care a lot about other people. That's what empathetic means. Okay, I'm going to go to a next page. And you can tell me if you can see the page or not. Okay. Let me type our next question. Let me just find it first. Here. Okay, let's go to 1 point. Okay. Do your parents, let me type it for you first. Okay. Part 1.11. Can you see my typing, V?
No, teacher.
You can't see it. Van Con, can you see it?
No, I can't see.
Okay, let me share a new board with you and see if you can see this one. Okay, V, can you see it now?
No, teacher.
Okay, let's type it here. Part 1.11. Okay, the question is, do your parents teach you how to help others? Okay. Yes. Yes, Van Con. Okay, V, do your parents teach you how to help others? V? Okay, V can't hear. Van Con, do your parents teach you how to help others?
Yes, teacher. My parents, they teach me that when you see people have anything difficulties in their life, you need to have the already to help them. Such for instance, at school, when your friends have a difficult exercise, you should teach them how to do it.
Okay, let me just see here. Okay, so let's type this for you. Take a different color. Okay. My parents have always taught me to help selflessly. Do your parents teach you how to help others? Being exposed to helping the less fortunate will help them to be humble instead of thinking too highly of. Do your parents teach you? Myself. So let's say my parents have always taught me to help selflessly. Being exposed to helping the less fortunate will help me to be humble instead of thinking too highly of myself. I also learned to be more sensitive to the needs of others rather than being too preoccupied with what will only benefit me. My parents have always taught me to help selflessly. Being exposed to helping the less fortunate will help me to be humble instead of thinking too highly of myself. I also learned to be more sensitive to the needs of others rather than being too preoccupied with what will only benefit me. Um, then you also can say, honestly, one should never expect anything in return. Always remember, they chose you to ask for help. Okay, V, see if you can read this.
My parents have always taught me to have selflessly. Being exposed to have the less fortunate will help me to be humble instead of thinking too highly of myself. I also learned to be more sensitive to the needs of others rather than being too preoccupied with what will only benefit me. Honestly, honestly, one should never expect anything in return. Always remember they chose you to ask for help.
Good. Okay, Van Con can read.
My parents have always taught me to help selflessly. Being exposed to helping the less fortunate will help me to be humble instead of thinking too highly of myself. I also learned to be more sensitive to the needs of others rather than being too preoccupied with what will only benefit me. Honestly, one should never expect anything in return. Always remember they trust you to ask for help.
Okay, let's have a look at the next one. Let's see the next question. Okay, this one in 12. Where's 1.12? 1.9, 10, 11. Okay, let's do, that was robots. Okay, let's do 1.4 then. Let me type it. Part 1.4 says tea and coffee. Oh, Van Con, are there any words here in the first question that you don't understand?
No.
Oh, what about you, V? Any words that you don't know?
I don't know the word selflessly and
Self.
humble. Humble.
Oh, okay. Let me type it for you. Humble and selflessly. Let's just say English to Vietnamese. Okay. Humble. Humble is, okay. Selflessly. Humble.
Khiêm tốn. Khiêm tốn.
Okay. Selflessly.
Vị tha. Vị tha.
Okay. Do you understand, V?
Yes.
Okay. Van Con, you can make a sentence with humble.
Um, um, I I think she is a humble person.
What does humble mean, Con?
Well, when he has the best result in English, um
Hmm? You have to unmute.
I don't know.
Okay, but you said you know what humble is. So if you don't know, you can't say you know because I need to help you, okay? You don't know what humble is.
I think I need to think to make the sentences the sentence with the word humble.
V, can you make a sentence with the word humble?
My teacher always teaches us to be a humble person.
Yes, because what does humble mean? Humble means I'm not boasting about myself. I'm not showing pride about myself. I don't think I'm better than others. He stayed humble, although he's the best English-speaking student in the class. They always say in English, your head is going to explode, means you think so big of yourself. A humble person doesn't think big of themselves. They think that they are normal, they are not better than you. So a humble person doesn't think big of themselves, they don't boast, and they don't think they're better than you. They think they're the same as you. Even if they're the best English-speaking person and you're not, they don't think they're better than other people. Selflessly, V, can you make a sentence with selflessly?
I'm learning to be selflessly.
What does selflessly mean, Van Kahn?
Teacher, can you repeat your question?
What does selflessly mean?
Teacher, I make the question of this word selflessly.
You tell me what it means. What does it mean?
Vietnamese.
Van Kahn, what does it mean in English? Tell me, what does it mean? You said that you understand all the words. So what does selflessly mean?
Teacher, I don't know the means of your question. That I translate.
Okay. No. Make a sentence.
Make the sentence. Yes. My mother, she always teaches me that you need to be selflessly in your life.
Okay, now you describe the word. What does it mean? Describe the word selflessly. How is a person if they are selfless? Now you need to tell me about the word. And Khan, tell me about the word selflessly. Okay, V, tell me about the word selflessly.
Selflessly means we forgive others for something that they made which wrong.
Selflessly is when you put yourself second. So you don't think about yourself first. You will rather help your friend, or even if it doesn't benefit you, You will help your friend first, and then you will help yourself. That's selflessly. You don't think about yourself. You think about your friend and helping your friend. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Drinking tea or coffee? No, okay. When was the last time you drank tea or coffee? Okay. Do you prefer drinking tea to coffee? V, what do you prefer? Do you prefer drinking tea to coffee?
I prefer drinking tea because coffee is not very good for children to drink, and drinking coffee sometimes if we drink coffee in the morning is good, but if we drink in the evening, so we can't sleep. And tea is very good for our health because it can tea can also be a cure for some disease. And most of people in most countries prefer drinking tea because they are healthy.
Okay. Van Con, do you prefer drinking tea to coffee?
I prefer drinking tea because tea have a lot of benefits for my health. It can make my voice to be warm before I want to I have the project and I need to tell them about the project with many people, so it is very useful for my voice. And a lot of scientists they say that drinking tea in the morning is very good, and coffee is not really good for my age because it can harm my health, and it's not really good. When you drink coffee, it is very difficult for me to sleep at night.
Coffee can make it very difficult to sleep at night because it's got lots of caffeine in. Tea has also caffeine, but it's the better one. So let's type here. Put it green. Okay. Well, that's a no-brainer. I will type that for you. People in my country enjoy drinking tea, and that's because of our tea culture. Back in the day, our ancestors considered tea as the most important beverage, more than water. If you roam around the city, you can find lots of tea shops and cafes. that serve refreshing tea. And if you happen to visit some places in the, just make it so to type it, in the countryside, you can see some tea plantations. Well, that's a no-brainer. People in my country enjoy drinking tea, and that's because of our tea culture. Back in the day, our ancestors considered tea as the most important beverage, more than water. If you roam around the city, you can find lots of tea shops and cafes that serve refreshing tea. And if you happen to visit some places in the countryside, you can see some tea plantations. Okay, V, can you read this for us?
Well, there's a no-brainer. People in my country are drinking tea, and that's because of our tea culture. Back in their day, our ancestors considered tea as the most important beverage more than water. If you roam around the city, you can find lots of tea shops and cafes that serve refreshing tea. And if you happen to visit some places in the countryside, you can see some tea plantations.
Okay. Rancon?
Well, there's no brainer. People in my country enjoy drinking tea, and that's because of our tea culture. Back in the day, our ancestors considered tea as the most important beverage more than water. If you roam around the city, you can find lots of tea shops and cafes that serve refreshing tea. And if you happen to visit some place in the countryside, you can see some tea plantations.
Good. V, do your parents teach you how to help others?
Yes, my parents have always taught me to help selflessly. Being exposed to helping the less fortunate will help me to be humble instead of thinking too highly of myself. I also learned to be more sensitive to the needs of others rather than being too preoccupied with what will only benefit me. Honestly, one should never expect something in return. Always remember they chose you to ask for help.
Good. Okay, let's see. Let's save this. If we can do. Okay, I want to do one more question. Let's see the question. When was it? If someone visits you, I want to say. Okay, if someone visits your home, will you serve tea or coffee, V?
Actually, if someone visits my home, I usually serve tea because the people in my area like prefer drinking tea to coffee. And tea also helps them to have more energy and it contains a lot of vitamins.
Good. Okay. What about you, Rancon? Do you serve tea or coffee when people visit you?
My in my family, my dad, they also like tea and coffee. So I think that when someone visit my home, I will serve them tea or coffee because I think that some people they prefer to drink tea or coffee. So I think that I will choose tea or coffee for them to drink.
Okay, good. All right, sweeties, we're gonna stop here. You both did a good job today. I'm gonna see you next time, okay? Bye, V. Bye, Vancon.
Goodbye, teacher.